The realm of nonprofit organizations is one where passion and purpose collide to create social impact. However, a critical component that often determines the success of these organizations is their ability to engage in effective policy advocacy. This gap not only hinders the potential impact of these organizations but also raises questions about the future effectiveness of the nonprofit sector in driving societal change. Understanding policy advocacy in nonprofits. Policy advocacy in the nonprofit sector refers to the efforts made to influence public policy in a way that aligns with the organization's mission. It involves a range of activities from lobbying and campaigning to public education and grassroots mobilization. In the next sections, we would delve into the evidence of skill gaps in policy advocacy, the impact of this gap, challenges in skill development, strategies for enhancement, case studies, future predictions, and a concluding summary. Evidence of skill gaps in policy advocacy. Recent studies have highlighted a concerning trend in the nonprofit sector, a significant gap in policy advocacy skills. For instance, a study by the Nonprofit Leadership Alliance 2020 found that among nonprofit professionals, there is a notable deficiency in skills related to influencing public policy and engaging in legislative processes. The reasons behind these gaps are multifaceted. One primary factor is the lack of formal training and education in policy advocacy. Many nonprofit professionals come from diverse backgrounds, with a focus on social work, community service, or specific issue areas, but not necessarily on policy or political science. Impact of the skill gap on nonprofit goals. The lack of advocacy skills significantly affects the effectiveness of nonprofits. Without the ability to influence policy, organizations may find themselves addressing the symptoms of societal issues rather than the root causes. For example, a nonprofit focused on homelessness can provide shelter and services, but without advocating for policy changes, the broader issue of affordable housing remains unaddressed. Challenges in developing advocacy skills. Nonprofits face several barriers in building advocacy skills. Firstly, there is often a perception issue. Advocacy work can be seen as politically sensitive or outside the scope of nonprofit work, leading to hesitancy in engaging in these activities. Secondly, the regulatory environment can be a hurdle as nonprofits navigate the legal boundaries of lobbying and political engagement. Academic sources also point to organizational challenges. Strategies for enhancing advocacy skills. To bridge this skill gap, recent studies and academic literature offer several recommendations. One effective approach is the integration of advocacy training into professional development programs. This can include workshops, webinars, and partnerships with academic institutions or advocacy experts. Another strategy is experiential learning. Encouraging staff to engage in advocacy efforts under guided supervision can build skills and confidence. For instance, participating in coalition-building efforts or attending legislative sessions can provide for policy advocacy. Examining nonprofits that have successfully developed and utilized advocacy skills provides valuable insights. One such example is the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, which has effectively used legal advocacy to influence policy and public opinion. Another example is the environmental organization Greenpeace. Their combination of public awareness campaigns and direct engagement with policymakers has been instrumental in advancing environmental policies globally. The future of policy advocacy in nonprofits. Looking ahead, the role of policy advocacy in nonprofits is likely to become even more critical. As societal challenges become more complex, the need for systemic change through policy influence grows. The future also points to a more collaborative approach, with nonprofits forming alliances to amplify their advocacy efforts. The use of technology and social media in advocacy campaigns is also expected to increase, broadening the reach and impact of these efforts. Conclusion. Addressing the skill gap in policy advocacy is not just a matter of professional development, it's a strategic imperative for the nonprofit sector. As nonprofits strive to fulfill their missions and create lasting societal change, the ability to influence policy becomes increasingly important. By investing in advocacy training, embracing innovative approaches, and fostering a culture of learning and collaboration, nonprofits can enhance their impact and drive meaningful change in the communities they serve. The future of the sector depends on its ability to not only serve but also advocate for the systemic changes needed to address the root causes of societal issues.